How y'all doing out there? This is the Black Effect, the real Black Effect. You know how we do things. I want to get into this message, man, and I want to talk about the great separation. This is part two also. This is great separation part two. I've already done this. And you're seeing it more. The Bible has already told you that this is going to happen, but you're seeing it more. And I'm talking to my black people right now. You're seeing this all across the world, but in America and amongst black people, I can get it into a microcosm, into a smaller control group that you can understand. And I'm talking to my people. So when it comes to this separation, you're gonna have to separate yourself from those who don't have the same spirit as you. And yes, I said spirit because we fumble around when we younger dealing with people who we know we shouldn't be dealing with people who we know our parents wouldn't approve of us dealing with. We fumble around and do that. We make these bad decisions and deal with them. But in actuality, we know that, and at the end of the day, those relationships don't end well. We end up getting burned in those relationships. We end up getting our hearts broken in those relationships. We end up dealing, taking on extra baggage or getting in trouble in our lives or disrupting our lives because of our true path for God because of those relationships. You were never supposed to be in that relationship with those people. You should have separated yourself. Sometimes you can't be like, and when you get older, you understand you can't even be friends with everyone. Doesn't mean that you don't love them, and doesn't mean that you're not gonna be friendly. Like you can't be cordial. What I mean is you can't be in intimate settings with everyone. You can't be going out for drinks. You can't be kicking it. We can't be hanging out. You can't be hanging out. Sometimes you only be cordial with those people where, like, if these your coworkers, sometimes you only be cordial with them and friendly at the job. I don't want to go to no bar with you. I don't want to go to no out setting with you. That's just how it is because we don't share the same spirit. Now, it's love. I might be a Christian. I might be trying to get my life right with God. I might be, you need to surround yourself with people who got that same energy. That's what church is for. People complain, I don't go to church. I don't do that. That's why you don't have no good friends, because you trying to move one way, but then you still kicking. You a woman trying to go follow God. You always posting God, but then you kicking it with straight 304s. That cannot work. The light and the darkness cannot coexist together. One of those are gonna take influence over the other. Now, if you kicking it with your friends, teaching them, trying to lead them to Christ and things like that, you still can't be. It's still dangerous for you to be in those environments frequenting where they are. That's just like, a guy going in there trying to. He's not gonna be in the heart of the hood or something like that, in the trap. He ain't gonna be in the trap serving J's trying to change his partners. No, you can't do it that way. And being in that environment may take a deep influence on him. And it may be bad for your spirit. So it's best not to put yourself in that position. But you can still, like I said, love them and pray for these people from afar and give them advice and, bring them around in your lifestyle and things like that. But going and trying to be like a lot of people I see, man, you trying to be like the world. You want to be with the world. You want to be like with them, but then you want to be with them and then you want to be with Christ at the same time. Like, just quit being hot and cold. I know that it's hard, it's difficult, but this is what's needed in order for you to move to the next level. Because when you pulling between these two energies and these two ideologies, you're not going to move forward. What that's going to do is keep you in the same cycle. You trying to move forward and move upward and do, and go to new heights with your life. It takes a separation from people. It takes a separation from people who don't have the like mind that you have. And again, if you call yourself a follower of Christ, light has no place with the darkness. You can't be trying to be up in a strip club, feeling on some random booties and as a man or woman, and then calling yourself and kicking it with that crowd of people, then trying to call yourself a Christian or a spiritual woman or man of God. Like, it's a separation, and it's time to do it now. Be mature. That comes with maturity. So once you mature in your walk here, you got to understand you have to separate in order to move forward. I want to give you Bible verse so you don't just take my word for this. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. First Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. John chapter 17, verse 15 through 18. I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth, and you sent me into the world, so I have sent them into the world. Do you get that Bible verse? We're in the world. We can't change that. And Jesus Christ himself ministered and dealt with the worst of the worst people. He didn't shy and run away from them, nor should we. But he engaged them in his own game. He engaged them in his environment. They had to play his game. Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. He had authority. You understand? They understood his authority. But for us, you can go some places. We're given that same authority, but we're not perfect like Christ. So being in some of these, immersing yourself in that situation, that may rub off on you. You run the danger of doing that. Okay. But I'm going to end it with Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. This is why we should be different. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now have in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Okay? If you believe that, then you should be setting yourself apart. That's just how, and not only is that for God's glory, that's for your benefit. So with that being said, I'm gone.